Hey Paranormies! My name is Alice.
I'm Jenna, and today we're doing another TLS Top 5.
Because we know you love it.
And we do too.
So today's category is...
Possession.
I don't know about you, Jenna, but I find possession movies very scary, but I can sleep at night, you know? Like, I almost feel like I would have more bad dreams about a paranormal haunting versus a possession movie.
I would be the exact opposite.
This is torture for you.
Terrified of possession movies. So I have a list of what would be my favorites, but it doesn't mean that I really loved them. It means that they scared me. So if you want to get scared, watch these movies.
That's good too. So in case you haven't seen this series yet, we start at number 5, which is our 5th favorite, working our way up to number 1, which is our most favorite. And we will add honorable mentions at the end. So what's your number 5?
So my number 5 is a movie that scared the living daylights out of me.
Oh.
Is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I wouldn't watch it again for fun.
For personal reasons.
No, I wouldn't. I would see it playing on the TV, like on movie nights or whatever, and I would be like skipping over that. I would like shut my TV off. I think once I shut my TV off and unplugged it because I was so scared that it would turn on while I was sleeping. It's a very scary movie. You've seen this, yes?
Yes, I've seen
Thoughts
it, and
on
it's
this?
actually featured in my list a little bit later on.
Oh, okay. The movie poster to this is scary.
Oh.
Everything about this scares me. And it's
Just
also
a girl walking to a tree in the fog.
I just hate it. No, I just find it so creepy. There's just something about it just so awfully creepy. But this has got to be the possession movie that scared me the most that was based on true events. And I think that's what scared me the most because, as I've mentioned before, when I find out something's based on true events, I immediately Google and research everything about it because I need to know exactly what happened. The true story is just scary. And so then I was like, I wish I'd never seen this. But it's a very good movie. Very scary. The plot summary is a lawyer takes on a negligent homicide case involving a priest who performed an exorcism on a young girl. Basically the debate of was she possessed or did she need medical attention, and it's in a courtroom setting and it's flashbacks. I recently did a reaction to a similar case. I'll link it here. So what is your number 5?
My number 5 is... Before I tell you, I have to preface with, this is a very personal choice, and I know that like the critics out there are gonna hate me for this. Jennifer's Body.
That's on my list.
Really? Oh my god, I'm so surprised. It's a very obscure film, but I love that they were able to make a possession movie into a teen comedy drama.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. Firstly, Megan Fox. Megan Fox is a fox, but she's also a very intelligent, empowered woman. And in this movie, she just kills it. Like, I feel like there would have been no one else to do this type of movie justice.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. And I also loved that there was, like, a band involved and, like, Satan and stuff. It was just cool. It was a cool watch. If you feel like watching something really lighthearted that's also a possession movie, put that baby on.
Yeah, it is like a gory... Well, gotta wait my turn. But it is gory, but also light. It's weird. But
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that for now.
So I'm just going to read you a little plot summary here. A newly possessed high school cheerleader turns into a succubus who specializes in killing her male classmates. Can her best friend put an end to the horror?
They gave a lot away in that plot summary.
Yeah, so the contrast between her best friend that's like super cute and reserved and then her who's literally a succubus. So good.
So my number 4 is The Exorcist.
Yes, cool.
So,
whoa, wait a minute. Guys, I'm having a moment. I made this entire list and was like, what's a possession movie?
And you never thought of
I
The Exorcist?
didn't think of the
gosh.
possession movie. Oh.
The Exorcist is the possession movie. For me, like when you think of possession movie, it's that and Emily Rose.
Normally.
Apparently not. That movie scared the heck out of me for years and years and years. That movie scared me off Ouija boards. I saw that when I was really young, and that literally put the fear of God in me for too many years. If you haven't seen The Exorcist, that is like, if you want to watch a possession movie, you start with The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes.
There's a lot of lore and hauntingly creepy things that went on while filming this movie, which is also intriguing.
There are parts of it that could come off as cheesy if you're someone that's grown up with like Insidious and stuff as your baseline for horror films, it can seem cheesy, but that's only because of when it was made.
Also, the music in this is super haunting. Like Tubular Bells is very haunting. My dad had a record, I think, that had that song on it.
What?
Because he loved the music and he used to play it, and I used to
just casually
go into panic mode.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't do it often, but I would panic hard when he would do that.
I remember being a little kid, like trying to do a back bend so that I can do that spider walk thing down the stairs. Don't do that down the stairs.
So the plot summary is: when a 12-year-old girl is possessed by a mysterious entity, her mother seeks the help of 2 priests to save her. Literally,
yes.
This movie is about an exorcist who exorcises or tries to exorcise a demon. The end.
Which is possession.
That sums it up. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is The Devil Inside. This movie scared me. This was so believable. I think it might be based on true events. It was one of those like home video style movies, which again made it more relatable, made it more believable. And it's also filmed in like a docu-style, which is cool. The lead actress, I forget her name, who is the possessed lady, she just pulls it off so well. Like I feel like she became that character. It was terrifying.
Oh,
yeah.
What a dark thing to prep for as an actor.
Yeah, how would one prep for that? You know what I mean? Like
without getting in a really dark headspace.
Yeah. When I think of possession movies, I think of The Devil Inside. That was one of the first movies that came to mind. Except for The Exorcist. So weird. It's really dark. It's really gory. Yeah, just disturbing. So the plot summary is, in Italy, a woman becomes involved in a series of unauthorized exorcisms during her mission to discover what happened to her mother, who allegedly murdered 3 people during her own exorcism. And after her mother's exorcism, she is placed in what I believe is a mental health facility, and she's really not doing good. Like, it didn't seem to work. So I'd say that that's a possession movie. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is My Soul to Take.
Ooh.
So it's about these kids, I think there's 7 of them, who go to high school together, and they all share the same birthday of the day a killer was allegedly killed.
Ooh.
So, the idea is like, he's come back to kill again.
Ah!
He's dead.
And that, my friends, is
Yes.
possession.
So, yeah. I really like who plays the main character. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Theriot. It's Max Theriot. He was also the older brother in Bates Motel, which is a little bit more relevant to today.
I think it's a French last name, Theriot.
What did I say? Theriot?
Theriot.
And I liked this movie, and I liked it because of this kid, and it was a good, like, edge of your seat, but they get an inkling that somebody has been possessed, and they just don't know who it is. That's the best part.
So you have to try and find out as well while you're watching it.
Yeah. So the plot summary goes like this. I think I said almost the whole thing in my own words, but a serial killer returns to his hometown to stalk 7 children who share the same birthday as the day he was allegedly put to rest. That's it. Okay, so what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I would go as far to say as, like, in terms of classic possession outside of The Exorcist, my gosh, is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. When I think about what a classic possession movie would entail, that is what I think about. It's so believable, which, like, it is based on real events, which is why you love it so much. Yeah, like, I really found it so interesting. I love that it's based in a courtroom. I love that there is a psychological analysis going on. I find psychology really interesting. But then there's so many dark elements surrounding that. It's not just about the court case. Man, it is so good. And scary and awesome.
It's
and
very scary.
Here.
I had a hard time watching Dexter after, because she's one of the main characters, and
yeah, Deb. She's Deb in Dexter.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's really creepy. It's really believable. That's all I can really say about it. And what is your number 2?
So my number 2 is An American Haunting.
Ooh, I definitely remember watching that at a sleepover, like a girls' slumber party.
I loved this one because it was a possession movie, but it was also, without saying too much, loosely based on the Bell Witch, but it also has a storyline of its own as well. It kind of takes the idea of the Bell Witch and then does its own thing with that.
Hollywood.
Yeah. A pretty unexpected twist in it as well. Mm-hmm. And that's why I liked it. I had to watch this one a few times to, like, really understand what was going on, and then I was like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I need to watch again.
So the plot summary is not really a plot summary. I'm going to read this one, but maybe I can find a better one. Based on the true events of the only case in U.S. history where a spirit caused the death of a man, and that's the Bell Witch.
Boom.
In 2006, in Red River, Tennessee, a teenager has frequent nightmares. Her mother reads an old letter from 1817 written by her ancestor Lucy Bell. After a dispute of lands judged by the church, her husband, John Bell, is cursed by his opponent, Kathy Batts, who has a fame of being a witch. From this moment on, the entity threatens John and his daughter, Betsy Bell, attacking the girl during the night. With the support of Betsy's school teacher, who tries to find a rational explanation for the manifestations, her brother and his friend also unsuccessfully try to exorcise the entity from the house, and the family does their best to protect Betsy in this haunted home.
That was a
That was a
mouthful.
lot, I'm sorry.
My number 2 is Annabelle. Annabelle. This, in my opinion, is the best possessed object movie.
Yeah, I never thought to go there.
Rather than a person, you know?
Yeah, this was on my honorable mentions because I have not, other than the first one, which was very hard for me to get through, I have not watched any of the other movies, and I have tried. Too many creepy things happen when I'm watching it, and I have to just turn it off. It opens too much for me for some reason. The Annabelle movies, yes.
Paranormal events
Yeah.
in your life?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like weird stuff will start happening in my house when I watch these movies. I tried, the newest one came out, you wanted to see it with me, and I said
theaters?
I have to see the second one first because I hadn't seen it, and I just never could do it.
Wow.
There's 2 or 3 nights I had tried, and each time I watched it, the shadow people I would see in my house were like, I could do it. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Like you physically could not watch
yeah,
them.
I gave up eventually.
I mean, me
Too dark.
being me, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But unfortunate because they're great movies. I still think that the first one's the best. I don't think that the sequel's the best like my other top 5s, but yes, Annabelle, so good. Iconic, if you will. Yeah, just absolutely terrifying. You have nightmares about it later, you think about it later constantly. Every single doll that you'll ever see again, you think about it. I know that there are mixed opinions about how Hollywood had not used a Raggedy Ann doll for it, like the original Annabelle events.
Right.
But I personally like what they did. I thought that it was scary, and I don't know that it would have packed as much punch if it was just a Raggedy Ann doll.
Right. Same. Yeah, that doll was, I never understood right from the beginning why anyone would want that anywhere near them. And she never looked cute, even from the beginning.
No, yeah, they were like, oh, this is
Always
perfect.
scary.
Let's see a synopsis. John Form has found the perfect gift for his expectant wife, Mia, a beautiful, rare, vintage doll in a pure white wedding dress. That's the perfect gift, John! But Mia's delight with Annabelle doesn't last long. On one horrific night, their home is invaded by members of a satanic cult who violently attack the couple. Spilled blood and terror are not all that they leave behind. The cultists have conjured an entity so malevolent that nothing they did will compare to the sinister conduit to the damned that is now Annabelle.
I forgot that that's how she got, like, possessed.
Me too, actually.
The thing that scared me the most about the first one was that seeing Annabelle, like, move, creepy enough, but the whole idea that blew my mind is when they pan out and you see that it's not Annabelle who's possessed moving, it's a demon behind her pretending
Like
she's
a
moving.
puppet!
Oh, I have chills. It was just such a mind-blowingly scary way to see it.
Yes.
Because I think there was always comfort in the idea that the doll was moving.
Yeah.
But then when you realize that there's something behind it doing that, oh,
I don't like it,
No.
but I love it. And
Yeah.
that's why it grants my number 2 spot. Almost number 1, but not quite.
is that good? No. It's Jennifer's body.
Oh yeah.
By process of elimination, I am left with Jennifer's body. I love this movie, and I think that's why it's my number 1, because it's not super duper scary. It's kind of gory, but also a little bit culty, and like, oh, I love the idea of how it all happens. How she gets possessed, and like,
Yes.
it's good. It's very sultry and Megan Fox-like.
Yes, yeah,
And-
Megan Fox. They definitely tried to amp up her sex appeal in
Yeah.
this movie, and they succeeded.
But I love Amanda Seyfried too, so she's the other main character in this as well, and she plays this meek, mild little friend who survives high school by riding the coattails of her beautiful best friend who is popular, and yeah, it's very teenage goodness. It's good.
Yes.
I love it. It's my number one.
There was just something so empowering about how Jennifer lived her life as this possessed human.
Yeah, she gave zero.
Yeah, like I found that inspiring in some ways. Keep in mind, like, especially in high school when I saw this, I was that meek, mild Amanda Seyfried character. And so I found it really cool. She's just doing what she wants. Obviously, I didn't want to kill people like she did, but...
Let's hope not. I was married when I saw this. Times lapse.
Weird!
Okay.
Do they know that we have an age difference, or is this them finding out?
I don't know,
right
we've
now?
kind of poked at it a bit before. The tagline for Jennifer's Body, you read the synopsis. I'll read the tagline.
All right.
It is, she's evil. And not just high school evil.
That's so good for that, though. Like,
And
it makes
she
sense.
writes on the chalkboard, hell yes. What is your number one?
Ready to rock with the Evil Dead remake. I chose the Evil Dead remake because, unlike its original film, it wasn't campy and funny. It was serious. I feel like...
It was? Oh yeah, the first one's very campy.
Yes, and we will bring that up at a future list.
Yes, yeah.
So we don't want to talk about that too much, but the remake, I feel like back then, what year did the first Evil Dead come out?
Ooh, that's gotta be 81.
So the original came out in 1981. So back then they didn't have the same tools and technology to make it as scary as they wanted to. And I feel like this time around, they went in.
Yeah.
They went full on. It had all of the things that you loved from the original thrown into this really intense, epically scary, awesome possession movie.
It's very gory.
Oh, it's so good.
And scary, yeah. I have not seen it all. I have only seen parts of this movie. I wanted to see it when it first came out, and in the trailer she licks an X-Acto knife, and I was like, nope.
Aww.
Can't do it. Halloween of 2020 recently, I think it was on one of the movie channels, and I was in bed looking for something horror-ish to watch, so I started it halfway through, and it got so brutal. And I was like, I can't. I'm not in the right headspace. Now that I know what to expect, I'll wrap my head around it and actually sit down and watch it. But yeah, it's a lot.
It's so dark.
I think I was expecting it to be more like the original.
No, baby.
It's the original one, like the heads on the walls.
Yes, and the chainsaw with the arm, and then the blood coming out, and then doing this with the chainsaw. I forgot The Exorcist. I'm sorry. But I still feel like the Evil Dead remake would have taken this number one spot anyways, even if The Exorcist was on my list, because it was so good. I keep using the word epic because that's the only word I can really think of. The raining blood, like, oh, just, there's so
Raining blood.
Yeah. I loved all of it. Let's read the plot summary. 5 friends head to a remote cabin where the discovery of a book of the dead leads them to unwittingly summon up demons living in the nearby woods. Same plot summary as the original Evil Dead, like, it's almost the exact same, just without the comedy, and really, really dark and scary. And the tagline for my number one movie is, the most terrifying film you will ever experience.
Not see, experience.
Yeah, it's an experience.
So that's it for the top 5. Did you have honorable mentions for possession category?
I have 2. Deliver Us from Evil. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
The main song in that is People is Strange When You're a Stranger.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Plays like a million times. I would probably say that this is my number 6 possession movie. I found it really interesting. I've watched it 3 times, so it was interesting enough to watch multiple times, but it just wasn't quite good enough to make it on my top 5. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend seeing it. It's very classic possession. And then my number 7, I guess, would have been The Possession. Literally, The Possession. And that is the movie that I mentioned in my video about the Dybbuk box. And that's going to be up there if you want to watch that. But yeah, so I do like that there was some Dybbuk box history going on in that, but it wasn't a well-made movie, and that's why it was a little bit harder to watch or even remember. But it was still, like, really cool. What are your honorable mentions?
My number 6 would have been The Shining.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
I guess
It's
that
a
is a
classic.
possession. Oh, yeah, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so it's a classic. I liked that one better than I liked Emily Rose and The Exorcist, but they got the other spots because they're just so the epitome of possession movie. I had to. But The Shining is in there as well.
I always just think of the Simpsons episode, The Shining.
I know.
So funny.
It is so funny.
Good.
That was my only honorable mention. I had another one, but I'm going to talk about that in a different category.
Cool. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. We really hope that you enjoyed us covering these possession movies.
We really enjoy being a part of the discussion in the comment section that you guys get going about your favorite movies that fall into this category and your top 5. So please keep up with that. We will try to respond to as many people as we can, and we will jot down the movies that we haven't seen that you mentioned and put them on our to watch list.
So what are your top 5s? Please follow us on Instagram at TLS_paranormal, and you can follow our personal Instagrams as well. This will all be in the description of this video. Remember to like this video if you want to see us continuing to do these top 5s. And live your life with love and light.
And keep on creeping on.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.